Introduction: a story that transcends time. Across the centuries, millions have found inspiration, peace, and purpose in the story of one man. Not a god, not a conqueror, not a scholar, but a seeker. His name was Siddhartha Gautama. He would come to be known as the Buddha, the Awakened One. His life is not only a historical account, but a timeless invitation to anyone who longs for freedom from suffering. But what kind of man gives up a life of unimaginable privilege to walk barefoot through forests, to meditate under trees, to beg for food, and to seek a truth no one else has found? This is that story, the story of the Buddha. Chapter 1. Born into a golden cage, Siddhartha Gautama was born around 563 BCE in Lumbini, in what is now Nepal. He was a prince, the son of King Shuddhodana and Queen Maya of the Shakya clan. His birth was marked by auspicious signs. According to legend, he took 7 steps immediately after birth, and a wise sage predicted that he would either become a great king or a spiritual teacher who would change the world. Fearing the latter, his father did everything he could to shelter the young Siddhartha from the harshness of life. He was raised in unimaginable luxury: fine clothes, beautiful gardens, music, and pleasure. Pain, sickness, old age, and death were kept hidden from him. His world was perfect, but it was a perfect illusion. He married a beautiful princess, Yasodhara, and had a son. But deep inside, a quiet discontent began to stir, a feeling that life had more to offer than comfort. Chapter 2. The 4 Sights. Cracks in the illusion. One day, driven by a mysterious longing, Siddhartha asked to see the world beyond the palace walls. What he encountered shattered the cocoon his father had created for him. On 4 separate occasions, he saw an old man, hunched and frail, a sick man, writhing in pain, a corpse, lifeless and cold, a wandering ascetic, serene and detached. In that moment, the veil was lifted. Siddhartha realized youth fades, health decays, life ends, and no wealth, no palace walls, no love could stop it. The 4th sight, the serene ascetic, offered a glimpse of another way, a path of renunciation and inner peace. Chapter 3. The Great Renunciation. At age 29, in the stillness of night, Siddhartha kissed his sleeping wife and child goodbye. He shed his silks for rags, traded his jewels for a monk's bowl, and stepped barefoot into the forest. It was a heartbreakingly human moment, a prince leaving behind everything he loved, not out of selfishness, but out of compassion for all beings. He knew he had to find an answer to the suffering he now saw so clearly. If he couldn't find it in riches, he would search for it in poverty. Chapter 4. The Search for Truth. For 6 long years, Siddhartha wandered through forests and hermitages. He studied with great teachers. He practiced extreme asceticism, fasting until his bones jutted out, meditating until he fainted, pushing his body to its limits, but still the truth eluded him. One day, exhausted and near death, he collapsed by a river. A young village girl offered him rice and milk. As he ate, he felt life returning to his body. It was then that he realized neither luxury nor self-mortification leads to enlightenment. Truth lies in balance. the middle way. That night, he walked to the Bodhi tree near the town of Bodh Gaya and sat beneath it. He vowed, "I will not rise from this spot until I have found the truth." Chapter 5. Enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. What happened next changed human history. As Siddhartha sat in deep meditation, he was visited by Mara, the tempter, a symbolic embodiment of fear, desire, and ego. Mara tried everything: seductive illusions, terrifying demons, storms of doubt, but Siddhartha remained still, unmoved. He turned his mind inward, and what he saw was not chaos, but clarity. He saw the nature of suffering. He saw the chain of cause and effect. He saw past lives, karma, and the impermanence of all things. As dawn broke, he opened his eyes, awakened. No longer Siddhartha, he was now the Buddha, the Enlightened One. He had discovered what he would later call the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path, the roadmap out of suffering. Chapter 6. The Teacher of the World. For the next 45 years, the Buddha walked the dusty roads of India, teaching rich and poor, kings and beggars, monks and outcasts. He did not claim divinity. He claimed only insight into the workings of the mind. He taught, life is suffering, dukkha, not misery, but dissatisfaction, restlessness, craving. Suffering has a cause, our attachments, aversions, and illusions. Suffering can end through awakening. There is a path, the Eightfold Path. Right view, intention, speech, action, livelihood, effort, mindfulness, and concentration. His message was simple, yet revolutionary. The end of suffering is possible, not through dogma, but through awareness. He founded a community, the Sangha, of monks, nuns, and lay followers. He welcomed all, regardless of caste, gender, or background. Chapter 7. A Human Story of Compassion. The Buddha's story is not one of supernatural feats, but of deep humanity. He suffered sickness. He experienced grief when his son joined the monastery. He comforted dying disciples. He walked under blazing suns and torrential rains, barefoot, for decades, not to save souls, but to awaken minds. One of the most touching stories comes from when a woman named Siddhartha Gautama lost her infant son and came to the Buddha, mad with grief. He told her to find a mustard seed from a house that had never known death. She searched every home and found none untouched by loss. In this gentle, poetic way, the Buddha helped her understand the universal nature of suffering and opened the door to healing. Chapter 8. The Final Days. At the age of 80, the Buddha fell ill. Knowing his time had come, he calmly gathered his disciples and offered his final teachings. He lay between two sal trees in Kushinagar, and as the blossoms fell gently around him, he uttered his last words. All conditioned things are impermanent. Strive on with diligence. He passed into parinirvana, the final liberation, beyond birth and death. But he left behind a path, a teaching, a legacy that would echo through time. Conclusion. Why his story still matters. Why, over 20,500 years later, does the life of the Buddha still inspire? Because his story is our story. His questions are our questions. Why do we suffer? Can we find peace? Is there more to life than chasing pleasure and avoiding pain? The Buddha didn't ask us to worship him. He asked us to look within, to observe, to question, to awaken. His journey from a palace to the Bodhi tree is not just about a man. It's about what is possible for all of us. A final invitation. If the life of the Buddha stirs something in your heart, don't let it fade. Ask questions. Read more. Meditate. Reflect. Walk the path, even if only a step at a time. Like the Buddha, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to renounce everything. You only need sincerity, curiosity, and the courage to face life as it is. The path is not in the sky. The path is in the heart. The Buddha.